So for number 1, it says consider the slopes and y-intercepts of each system of equations. So the only thing that we're paying attention here is slopes and y-intercept. That means that you don't have to solve for it. The only thing you need to do is find the slope and the y-intercept for each one of the options. So for the first one, the slope, and we're going to write it on top, is going to be 4, and the y-intercept is going to be 1. Now, for the next one, is going to be slope is equal to -4, and the y-intercept is going to be 2. So that means that they have different slopes, and if they have different slopes, that means that there's one solution. Now, in this case, they're telling us that they have no solution, so this is false. Number 2. Number 2 looks a little bit different because it's not in the form y equals mx plus b. So, I'm sorry, for b. So what you need to do is you need to subtract 2 from both sides, and that will give you y is equal to 1/3 x minus 2. The slope of that is 1/3. So the slope is going to be 1/3. And the y-intercept is going to be -2. And then the next one is going to be the slope is, again, 1/3. But now the y-intercept is going to be 2. We have same slope, but different y-intercept. That means no solution. So this is true. For the next one, again, the y is not by itself already. So what we're going to do is solve for it. So we have 2 plus y is equal to 3x. You're going to subtract 2 from both sides, and now you get y is equal to 3x minus 2. So your slope is going to be 3. Your y-intercept is -2. And for the other one, you also need to solve for y. So I'm going to rewrite it. 3x minus y is equal to 2. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides, and you get -y is equal to -3x plus 2. Now you have to divide by -1, and when you divide, you're pretty much changing the signs to everything. So I'm going to rewrite it, but I'm only going to change the signs. So y is equal to 3x minus 2. Slope is 3. Y-intercept is -2. So whenever you have the same slope and the same y-intercept, is going to be the same line, so infinitely many solutions. And for the last one, you need to apply the distributive property, and you get 12x minus 6 is equal to y. The slope is 12, y-intercept is -6, and for the other one, it's the same thing. So slope is 12, y-intercept is -6. Now this one, it tells you one solution, which is incorrect because it's the same line. For number 2, it says that you have an equation and it's asking you to determine the number of solutions. So if it has one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. Now, part B is actually telling you to solve the equation to confirm your answer from part A. I'm not going to be checking which one you do first, so I'm going to tell you do part B first and then do part A. Part B will give you your answer to part A. So the only thing that we're going to do is rewrite the equation. So we have 3 times 3x minus 5 is equal to 2 times 2x plus 5. You're going to distribute, and when you distribute on the left side you get 9x minus 15, and on the right side you get 4x plus 10. Okay, the first thing that you need to do is subtract the coefficient from the right side. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. This cancels, and now you're left with 5x minus 15 is equal to 10. So I want you to box your variable so you know that that's the one that you're trying to live by yourself. And now we're going to do inverse operations. So we're going to highlight the terms next to the variable. So we're going to add 15 to both sides, and you're left with 5x is equal to 25. You're going to divide by 5, and you get x is equal to 5. Now, using that information, you come to part A and put one solution. For number 3, you need to graph the equations. Again, graphing is the easiest when you have it in the form y equals mx plus b. So we're going to start with the first equation right here. This one is your intercept. That means where the line is going to cross the y-intercept. This is the y-axis, so we're going to go to the number 4. So right here, that's where we're going to put our first point. Then you're going to use your slope. Your slope is 2. 2 can be written as 2 over 1, and you need to keep in mind the slope is rise over run. So we're going to go up 2 units. So from 4, we're going to go to 6, and then we're going to move 1 unit to the right. So your next point is going to be right here. And now the only thing you need to do is connect your line. All right, so now you have your line. Now we're going to go to the next line, and we're going to start at -2. So our first point is going to be at -2. And now your slope is -3. So instead of going up, you're going to be going down. So it's going to be -3 divided by 1. That is your rise over run. So we're going to go down 3 units and 1 to the right. So our point is actually going to be a -5 and +1. And the only thing you need to do is connect the points. Now you need to estimate your solution. So what you're going to do is you're going to look around where the points meet. Your point is somewhere around -1.5, 1.25. So we're going to put that. So your x coordinate is going to be somewhere here. So that's going to be -1.25. And then your y coordinate is going to be somewhere about 1.75. Okay, and again, this is an estimated solution. If you want to know how precise you are or to get the right solution after you graph them, the only thing you need to do is 2x plus 4 is equal to -3x minus 2. If when you solve for x, you're going to get your x coordinate and then just plug it in to get your y coordinate to check your answer. And that's going to be what you need to do for part B. Solve for it algebraically. So you're going to add 3x to both sides. This cancels and you have 5x plus 4 is equal to negative 2. Now you're going to subtract 4 from both sides. You get 5x is equal to negative 6. Divide by 5, divide by 5, and your x value is going to be negative 6 over 5, which is the same thing as saying negative 1.20. Okay? So on my estimation, we're off for about 0.05, which is totally fine. And now the only thing you need to do is plug it in to any of the equations. So you have y is equal to 2 times negative 1.20 plus 4. So that's going to give you negative 2.40 or 4 plus 4. And your answer is going to be positive 1.6. Okay, we're off by about 0.15, which is totally acceptable. All right, so for this problem, it's telling you that the puppy weighs 5 pounds, less than 1/3 the weight of Lisa's dog. Okay, so that's going to be y is equal to 1/3 x minus 5. Now, that automatically cancels C and D. The next part says, together, the dog and the puppy weigh 31 pounds. Okay? So, let's use two variables. So, X is a big dog, Y is a puppy, and now that's going to give you 31 pounds. Okay? Now, the second equation is not written like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the y by itself. So we're going to subtract x from both sides. And now you get y is equal to negative x plus 31, which gives you option B. For number 6, the only thing you need to do is graph the numbers on the table. The first number, the first row will be your x, the second row will be your y. This is going to be your y-axis, this is going to be your x-axis. The only thing you need to do is use the numbers. We're going to label it, so we're going to do the x's as increments of 1, and then we're going to do the y increments of 16. And then after, you're just going to do a line. And that's pretty much it for part A. For part B, the only thing you need to do is find the unit rate. To be able to find the unit rate, the only thing that you need to do is use the slope formula. And the slope formula is m is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now you have multiple points on the table. I'm going to use the first and second. So that was 1,16, and then the second one was 2,32. This is your x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're going to plug it in. This is y2, so I'm going to write 32, y1, 16, and then you're going to do 2 minus 1, and that gives you 16 divided by 1, so your slope is going to be 16. Now it's asking you for what does it represent in this situation. In the problem, you were talking about boxes and pencils. So in one box, there will be 16 pencils. And that's all. For part 7, it says, which of these system of equations has infinitely many solutions? Now, to be able to do that, the only thing you need to do is find the slope and y-intercept of each equation. Now, this is going to be a lot of work. All right, so you're going to use a lot of space. So we have 8x plus 4y is equal to 12. Subtract 8x from both sides. You get 4y is equal to negative 8x plus 12. Divide by 4, divide by 4. And you get y is equal to negative 2x plus 3. So slope is negative 2. Y-intercept, your b is going to be 3. And in the other one is 4 and 3. Infinitely many solutions means same slope, same y-intercept. So A is not your answer. Now let's try B. For B, the slope of the first one is negative 1/2. The y-intercept is 6. Now, without even solving, you can see that your y-intercept for the bottom is going to be 3, because we're not going to be multiplying by anything. So that's not going to be your answer either. Let's jump to part C. So we have negative 3 is your slope. Y-intercept is 2. Now we're going to solve for 12x plus 4 is equal to 8. So we're going to subtract 12x from both sides. This cancels, and now you're left with 4y is equal to negative 12x plus 8, and then you're going to divide by 4, and y is going to be equal to negative 3x plus 2, which is actually the same slope and same y-intercept. So your answer is C. For number 8, it says an online video streaming service offers 2 plans for unlimited streaming. Plan A has a one-time $15 membership fee. So we're going to highlight that part. So you're going to pay $15 for a membership fee, and then it's $10 every month after that. Okay, now the next one, it says plan B has a $6 membership fee, but it's $11 per month. Part A says write a system of equations that represents the 2 plans. So the only thing you need to do is put the information into context. So we have a one-time fee. That's going to be your initial value, because that is how much you're going to pay to just open your account. Okay, so you know that your B for the first one is going to be 15, and then your slope is going to be $10 a month. So the equation for that one is y is equal to 10x plus 15. And for the second equation, the membership fee is $6 and then 11 months. So that's your slope, $11 per month. So now you have y is equal to 11x plus 6. And that is a system of equations. And then it tells you for which month is plan A the less expensive option, for which month is plan B the less expensive option. So now, there are different ways to solve this problem. The easiest way to do it is by graphing. So we're going to label it. We have, this is your y-axis, this is your x-axis. And I'm going to do increments of 1 in the x value, and then for the y value is going to be a little different. You know that the rate of change is different in every single problem. So we are going to be increasing by, so your y-intercept for the first one is 15, and then you're going to move 10 units up and 1 to the right. So that should be somewhere around here. And then you're going to move another 10 units up and 1 to the right. And you're going to continue that pattern until you can create a line. So your line should look something like this. Okay. Now we need to plug in the points for the next one. And then I want to use a different color. So the y-intercept is 6. So 6 is somewhere going to be right here. But then at 1, that's going to be around 16. And then you're going to keep putting points until you're able to form a line. So I will recommend you to put another 3 points. So that's going to be for 2, that's going to be 22 plus 6. That's going to be 28. So it's going to be somewhere like this. Now, you see the line, the gap between the lines is very, very small. So when you connect the points, you're going to get another line. Now you can see that the line is, at the beginning, line B is going to be cheaper. So B is going to be less expensive between, we're going to put between 0 and 9. And then line A is a little hard to see, but you see right here, line A is going to be below. The blue is coming below the green. So line A or plan A will be less expensive after 9 months. Okay. Another way to solve this is by making the equations equal to each other. So you can also do 10x plus 15 is equal to 11x plus 6. You solve for it. I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. You get 15 is equal to 1x plus 6, subtract 6, subtract 6, and you get 9 is equal to x. So you understand that the two lines are going to meet at 9, but you need to figure out which line will be more expensive and less expensive after 9 months. So you will have to plug in 10 and see which one gives you a higher answer, and you can plug in 0 and see which one will give you a higher answer. Okay? For part C, it says if the phi for plan A is dropped, how would that change your answer? So if there was no phi, then the slope will be less and the y-intercept will be less, so plan A will be cheaper all along. For 9, it says one equation in the system of equation is y equals 3 over 4x minus 1. For which second equation would the system of equations have exactly one solution? So we're looking for a one solution option. Now we know that one solution means that there's have a different slope. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the distributive property for the first one. We're going to distribute the 1/4, and that's going to give us 3 over 4x minus 1/4. Now in this case, they have the same slope 3/4 and 3/4, but the y-intercept is different. Again, one solution means different slope, so A is not our answer. For part B, you clearly see that the slope is 6. That's automatically an answer. For the next one, you have 3y is equal to 4x minus 8. So what we're going to do is divide everything by 3. And now you're going to get 4 over 3x minus 8 over 3. Now, again, this one has 4/3 and this is 3/4. So the slopes are different. So this is also one of our answers. Now for the next one, we're going to divide by 4, and you get 3 over 4x plus 1/2. Now they have the same slope. Same slope won't give you one solution, so that's not your answer. The last one has a slope of 2, so that means that they are different slopes, so that's your answer. Number 10 says Pablo is considering 2 housekeeping services. Premier Housekeeping charges a $25 for travel to Pablo's house and $65 per hour for cleaning his house. So the initial fee is going to be $25 just to get to his house, and then $65 per hour. So that's going to be y 65x plus 25. Now, it says the Best House Care does not have a travel fee, but charges $75 per hour for cleaning. So that's going to be y equals 75x. And that is the system of equations. It says, without solving the system of equations, explain what the solution represents. The solution will represent when the two companies will have or will charge the same amount of money. Okay, so that will be your answer for part B. Now, for part C says, for number 11 says the y-intercept of a graph of a line is located at 0, -3. And the line passes through the point 6, 2, which is the equation of this line. So now, you know that whenever you have the point 0, this is going to be 0, b. B represents the y-intercept. So the only thing you need to do is go check which one doesn't have -3 as the y-intercept. This one doesn't have it, and this one doesn't have it. So now we only have 2 more options. And to find between B and D, the only thing you need to do is use the slope formula. So that's going to be 2 minus -3 divided by 6 minus 0. So that's going to be 5 over 6. So your answer is going to be